Okay, I want to start off by giving all praises to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakah Kwadash. Double honours to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who teacheth the Bible in 100% truth. And shalom to the hopeful elect of the 12 tribes of Israel, starting with the 144,000, consisting of the Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans in the land of the Americas, as well as the speckled bird, the Israelite foreigners living amongst the other nations. Shalom to you. Okay, today's going to be, this one's a real short, quick one. It's sort of 4:45 in the morning. I actually need to go to sleep. But I wanted to quickly make this short video just to speak about something while it's on my mind, while it's fresh. So I kind of, made sure I'm going to do this now before I go to sleep. Earlier on this evening, I was speaking to someone, and that particular person, believes on the prophecies, believes on Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, and actually understands it, which is the prophecies, and sees what's coming to pass, which is a rare thing. And it's good because when someone's speaking, they're asking questions, he understands it, he can see it, yet he still asks certain questions, and then I have to explain it in a certain way. And he found it quite helpful, obviously, me showing him a particular point of view. Now, so I thought I'd share that with you. Now, it's a theory, it's based on events that are happening at the minute. We don't know exactly, but we can get a kind of good idea from looking at prophecy, looking at the things that are happening around us. But before I go into that, this is Matthew 18:20. It says, "For where 2 or 3 are gathered in my name," it's Yahweh Shai speaking, obviously, "there am I in the midst of them." And so I was with this person earlier, and I don't think the person realised, there was 2 of us. There was me, there was him, that was 1 and 2. We were talking in the name, of Yahweh Shai, both believers, talking about prophecies, trying to see if we can see them come to pass. And he didn't realise it, but he had a number 3 on his shirt at the time. So we were chatting away, and I saw the 3 on his shirt, and I believe the spirit was there. And like I say, obviously with that, it started to explain things to him. So I just thought I'd share that with you. But in our minds, I spoke of before about connecting the dots, spiritual dot to dots within your third eye, within your pineal gland. You can only do that by calling on Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, and if you're a hopeful member of the elect, then the Most High will open up that third eye and sup with you, or Yahweh Shai will sup with you. But you see what you can see on the screen at the minute. This is like a crime board, so this is what they normally do. Your detectives, because we get given major prophecies to look out for. We get given the code to the scriptures, so that's the first thing. The Holy Spirit works with us. We have the teachers, the elders, show us what's going on in the books, and then we can able to decode them. And so once we decode them, we have major things, major signs to look out for, to tell us where we're at the stage of prophecy, how close we are to the destruction of this empire and close to the establishment of the kingdom of heaven. So that's what we're looking out for. And so what I've explaining to this particular person, and then I gave him a particular theory, and I said, look, this is a possible theory, and obviously it's from what you see in your mind. So that's what you'll be able to, that's the whole idea. You go through the scriptures, the Spirit sups with you, shows you things, secrets, understandings, connects dots, and then, before you know it, you have the full picture. I believe that Vocab Malone has one of these. I truly believe he has one of these on his bedroom wall, with all the Hebrew Israelite camps. It has to be in the bedroom because, even when he's going to bed, he's probably sitting there the last hour of the day, sitting on his bed, staring at this wall, trying to work it out. Who's the mafia boss? Who's the big boss? Who's this and who's that? And, who all the assailants are. But so we do that in our minds, and so we're trying to see the things that are coming to pass. There's certain things that have happened over the course of the last 10 days. There's a lot of things that have happened, a lot of rumours, a lot of twists and turns. And there's things we've seen happening for ourselves, facts, things that we definitely know over the last 3 to 4 years. We know that we're in that particular time. And then on top of that, for myself, for example, I've explained before, I first came to the understanding of this understanding basically through a vision. And around that time, that was like 2018. So around that time, I had an idea that Trump had something to do, with the end time and, war. And then obviously I understood, 24, I've mentioned it a few times, 24 would be a big year, but not the year. It might go into 2025. And so now, we've fast forward through all these events that we've been through for the last for myself, what we're talking 6 years. And then we're here. And so, I believe, within the next 12 months, you're going to see a hell of a lot. And I've explained before, we told you 2024 is hopeful year of Jacob's Trouble. I've said many times the back end of the year, from now to 2025, the last 6 months, things are going to ramp up. And then, from January, so what do we expect? We expect it to ramp up even more. So if things keep ramping up from where we are, where we're going to be in a year's time, everybody's going to be at extreme limits, and things are going to be tight. So it looks like we're in that time, and so looking at that, if you look around the last 10 days or so, we've seen certain, Biden could be dead. Nobody's seen him since he's left the race for the presidential election. However, supposedly he's still alive, so he's still the president at the minute. So we know, first of all, before we go into it, before we put the detective hat on, we've got to ask ourselves, what do we know from the scriptures? We know the secrets of the Most High, so we know what they are, and we're waiting on the MOTB, Revelation chapter 13, the latter part, the fulfillment of a device being placed under the skin in order to buy or sell. We know that has to come to pass. We know there's war, a third world war. We know there is the return of Yahushua, and then we know there is destruction of America. We know other things like famine, pestilence, uproars of the people are going to be mingled in amongst that. So that is clearly, I can go into more details, but roughly that's what we're waiting on. That's what, to sum it up briefly, that's from here on now. It's July 2024. Whatever's gone on in the past has gone on. This is where we stand today. This is what we're waiting on. MOTB, war, Yahushua, destruction, intermingled in amongst all that, sedition, uproars, pestilence, violence. So we know the Most High is bringing it. We know this is the Most High's show. We know that. But we also know the Most High secrets. So we can move on from that bit to get now a clearer picture. We now have to look at the planet Earth and look at the rulers, the people who the Most High is getting to do the jobs in those particular scenarios, to see where they're at. And then we can get a more detailed picture on the things that are shown to us by Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai. And so at that point, you have to look at the banking elites. I'm purposely not going into any scriptures or breakdowns or understandings, although, everything that I'm saying, we could do. But for the purpose of what I'm saying now, I'm trying to narrow everything down into a particular, I just want to narrow it down into one piece and just leave it at that. And then we see what time will tell. So the banking elites is the people we need to watch. The banking elites are the people that are going to bring us war, and they're going to bring us the MOTB. And they're going to bring us war because we know all wars are bankers' wars. So let's just leave that at that. And without, muddling ourselves and getting into all the details, bottom line is, it's their world, they run it, and all the wars have been when they want the wars. So, what do you think the next one? You think it's going to be any different? Now, it may escalate out of their hand, and that's when Yahweh Shai and the ICBMs arrive, but the initiation of war is down to bankers. So we'll just leave that at that. And then the bankers, the banking elites, they're also the ones that will issue MOTB. They want to put the device under your skin so that you cannot buy or sell without it. They want the digital ID, track and trace. They want to be like gods. So we have to look at what they're doing. Now, one important thing before I go into it, because what you see on the screen here, we have in our minds. So when I was explaining it earlier to that particular person, I was showing him this point of view, and then that point of view, and then this point of view. And then when I showed him this particular point of view that I'm showing you now, you can see his face lit up. So I said, okay, so that point of view works. And so what I've done, I've quickly written it on a bit of paper. I'm going to show you in a minute. But what I want you to understand as well is that the MOTB is a worldwide thing. But the centerpiece, imagine there's a day, and this is the day where now the whole world has to switch to this particular device, and that's it. And Apostle Tahar always talks about the chipping stations and so on and so forth. So you're going to have that day, and that day is going to be all around the world. And I believe that America, the banking elites will make America the centerpiece. So America will have to say, we're doing it on this date. And then I believe that in the rest of the world, through these governments, even though we're controlled by the same people, I believe that then these other governments will then follow suit and say, we have to now do it on that same day that they're doing it. And therein lies the banking elites behind the scenes, and they lock everybody into that one system. So we know that the banking elites are going to bring us war, and we know they're going to bring us to MOTB. They'll probably use America as the showpiece. They've used other nations around the world previously at the beginning, to do things early there in China, in Australia. That's to test the waters. But really, the real showpiece is America. This is the Most High's, center stage for the end times is America, and as well as the land of, where the small hats are, so on and so forth. So it's the banking elites that are in control. They're going to bring the war, and they're also going to bring the change. The change, we believe, will come in a two-step process. First, they will, collapse the economic system, switch it to a digital system. But the digital system, that will be an emergency moment. So with that moment, they'll say, look, don't worry, we've got this app. You just switch it to that. And from that moment, your digital ID, your records all get interlinked into that. And then, even though it's on your phone, it'll all be one. Then there will be a second step process where another fear comes, and that fear will say, well, this is now the reason to take that device from your phone and move it under the skin. So the banking elites are going to do that. They want to bring the war, and they want to bring the MOTB. They want to use America as the showpiece. And there's turmoil all around the world. People complaining about borderless societies, this, that, and the other, and so on and so forth. And, whoever's been in charge over the last 4 years, whatever governments you got, around the world, a lot of people are blaming it on those governments. They've done this, they've done that, and look at the state of everything. And you've got now big changes in hierarchical and high hierarchy positions. So the banking elites, you've got to keep going back to the banking elites, because everything comes from the banking elites. See, another thing I've heard over the course of the last few years is that, this thing is ready to go, and these banking elites are just waiting for the right time. So they're playing a game. They're watching something, and they're waiting to see reactions. I mean, Hal Shai told us that he's coming to bring division, and how can Satan's kingdom stand if Satan be divided against himself? So we're seeing division at the minute, and we should expect to see more division. So taking all that into account, and then I kind of like worked a little pathway. It might not be the right thing. It might be. Some things might come to pass on that, and some might not. But we're going to start off here on this piece of paper. So what I'm going to do is start at the bottom. But I got B at the bottom for died. Biden died. Now, this is a rumor. We don't know, but I'm going to give you a possible scenario, because at the minute, everybody in America is screaming for Donald Trump. I know, they'll give you the numbers on the TV, the polls, this, that, and the other. But the bottom line is, the country's crying out for a change, just like it was in the UK. They had a landslide victory in the UK. That's happening in a lot of countries around the world. People, whoever they've fed up of the problems, the inflation, the war, the trouble, the problem with kids. Can't work out what they want to be anymore. I don't want to go into the language. So you've got these problems going on around the world, and seen the situation the last 10 days with this democratic system in America. People are screaming out for Trump. They might make out that Trump's obviously clearly winning the race. They might make out that it's closer than it really is. Biden now has stepped out of the race. Okay, you've got to differentiate between the race and the presidency. Biden's out of the race. So you now we're the banking elites, okay? So from here on in, we're going to see it as we're banking elites. And what we're doing is we're going to use America as a showpiece. We're going to introduce war. We're going to introduce the MOTB in a two-step process. We're going to dangle in front of America at the minute Kamala and Trump. That's your future, people. Because you see, we're sitting here going, who do the banking elites want? Who do they really, who's going to push their plan? Forget all that. The banking elites don't give a damn who's sitting in that presidential chair. They're making their moves. Even if they got to put a bullet through you and get you out of the way to then make their moves, they'll make their moves. So it's better that you agree to move with them. So people are saying, Trump said, it's going to do this, he's going to kick this off, he's going to kick that off. This is not the issue. The issue is the banking elites and what they want to do. Ultimately, they want to issue the MOTB. They want to bring war. Now, part of bringing the MOTB is civil unrest in America. So basically, you're the banking elites. What's one thing on the agenda is to piss the hell off out of the American people so badly that they go out into the streets and riot. Okay, you got to piss the people off. We're the banking elites. We're sitting around the table. What we're going to do, we got to piss the people of America. Piss them off so much that they go out in the streets and they wreck the place. We dangle Kamala and Trump. Obviously, everybody's dying for Trump. Now, let's just say Biden died. You can see now I've got B died. Let's just say we don't know if nobody's seen him. We don't know what's going on. But it's not very difficult. The thing about being a president of the USA, you've got the CIA to protect you. But if somebody wants you dead, it's probably going to be one of those CIA agents that takes you out. So they've probably got Biden in a hospice and CIA agents all around the building protecting him. And all it takes is one of them to pull the plug for 5 minutes and then push it back in, and too late. So this is based on the theory that Biden isn't here anymore, because we're hearing rumours. So we're seeing, like I said, we're working it out as of today where we're at right now. how could this possibly work out? So if Biden's died, that would then automatically make Kamala president, as predicted on The Simpsons. You can go on and on. But Kamala would make the president, that would make her the president today. That would even piss the Trump supporters off even more, who are the aggressive side of the civil unrest within America. The Trump supporters, they represent the aggressive American, if you like, in terms of wanting to create the civil unrest. So Biden dying, Kamala going in would piss them off even more. This is what one of the end goals, right? To piss off the American people. We need them to go in the streets and riot, so we can tell them we're going to issue you with a device under your skin, so we can lock everybody down and keep order. But Kamala's cool because she's only got until November, and then we're going to have probably Trump. Now again, you're back to thinking, who do they really want? Forget who they want. It don't matter. They've got an agenda. The agenda is to piss off the people, issue the MOTB, use America as the showpiece, bring about war, because all wars are bankers' wars. So then, let's just say Biden's dead. That's one move. Very easy for the Most High to make. He could make that tomorrow morning. Biden's gone, Kamala's president, but we still got a race between Kamala and Trump for the next term. So at this point, with the banking elites, we really want to piss off the American public. What's the best thing to do from this point? Well, it looks like Trump's going to win. We dangled it in their face and they want him. They were going to take anything after the shit show that they've had for the last 4 years. They were going to take anything. We've messed up their heads. We've messed up their society. We've let immigrants in. You can see it on the TV. The American people are finished. We just need to piss them off one more time. Don't give them Trump. Give them Kamala. So how are you going to do that? You're going to rig the election or what? No. You bring about one of our wars, because we're bankers, we're banking elites. They're our wars. So, we'll pull a few strings. All it takes is to activate World War III before the election. When you activate World War III before the election, then what happens? First of all, you have no election. As soon as America are involved in a war, you can't have the election. So, like I keep saying, if Biden, slips into the night, goes back into the spirit world, it's not a very difficult thing to do at this point. Kamala could be in charge. If the banking elites, if we banking elites bring about this world war before the election, Kamala has to stay as president through the war. That will really piss off the voters. It will really piss off the Trump supporters. Now, if you look around at the minute, again, I haven't got information to back me up. If your eyes are open, you're seeing it all around you. If you see a lot of the economic forecasters, they're saying that the economic system is getting worse and worse. BRICS have started 6 months ago. It's going on. Things are getting worse. All it would take to tip everything over the edge is a war. So we're the banking elites. We can bring about a war before November. We can make sure Kamala stays in. We can piss off the people of America. We can tip over the economic system into a collapse just with one move. Just with one move. Somebody go and pull the plug on Biden and just send America to war before the election. Just that move alone could issue, as the experts are saying, issue a economic collapse. No election. It's gonna civil unrest. It's gonna piss the people off America. Now the people of America, the Trump supporters, the MAGA people, they're gonna say, well, what now? They're gonna say, well, hold on, we've got a war to deal with. It's November. Give us time. The war bringing economic collapse would bring economic turmoil. So everything would be upside down. All of a sudden you wouldn't be using cash or coins. Yeah, it'll be on your phone, Yeah, you ain't taken the MOTB, but the world has just gone into the Third World War. Monday morning, news reports, and 3 days later, you're gonna start to get inflation, and a few weeks into, or a month into the war, you can have that economic collapse. Hyperinflation, economic collapse, and then they could say to you, look, take it on the app system, on the app-based system. So let's just say war broke out in October, November, December, economic collapse. The whole world goes onto the app system, and they'll be happy to do it because everybody's used to it, and it doesn't include the MOTB. But meanwhile, you'd have, civil unrest. You'd have these people screaming for Trump. We are the banking elites. We want to piss off the people of America to the point that they go rioting in the streets. We could get rid of Mr. B, go to war. It's that one move. And we've got Kamala in indefinitely with people screaming for Donald. And we just keep dangling him in front of their face. How long could that go on for? Well, take your pick. 3 months, 4, 5, 6 months. November, December, January, February, March. So you imagine now, between now and March, and how pissed off these people in America would be. March, April, May, who knows? At that point, the banking elites, they just sit back. They've already activated World War III. That in turn activated economic collapse. In turn activated Kamala has to stay. That in turn activated pissing off civil unrest more and more in America. You've now got economic turmoil while World War is going on, Armageddon in the Middle East. People are asking about their house prices. Gas prices will be going through this, slowly build up, go through the roof. Then you'd have the economic collapse. Questions will be asked. People will be all over the place. This could go on for months. Like I say, November, December, January, February, March. At that point, the banking elites just sit back. And they could be throwing out pestilences out there. Pestilence here in December, pestilence there in March. Locking people down on top of the final economic turmoil, on top of world war going on. And you imagine all that going on at once. And then you're watching TV and you flick from one channel, war, next channel, family starving in Sri Lanka, next channel, people fighting in America over immigrants, next channel, bang, people fighting in England over immigrants, bang, next channel, Ukraine, Russia, bang, next channel, back to Armageddon in the Middle East. So that would all be going on at the same time if all these events happen. And as the banking elites, you just sit back and you wait till they go into the streets in America, whether it takes them until March, April, May, June, July. At some point they will do that. And when they do that, and there's anarchy in the streets, we don't know who's who, there's too many immigrants, it's all on top, nobody knows what's going on, that's when we send out the troops. The martial law troops, the MOTB, that app-based system that you were using, it's now a device that goes under your skin. We have to put it under your skin because we have to keep order. There is anarchy. And then you will have that period where people are seeing it on TV. Oh my gosh, look at America, look what's going on. They're rioting in the streets. It will be like LA, like they call it, LA riots all over America. It'll be like that. And then they'll have to introduce the MOTB and people will say, yeah, you do. So that's, from here on in, as banking elites, they don't have to do much. It is at a knife point. That's how much of a knife point it's at. Get rid of Mr. B, like I say, trigger World War III. You're going to upset a lot of people in America, and our showpiece begins. Our grand finale begins. We just wait for the civil unrest to increase. The war will bring about economic collapse. No election. We keep Kamala in there. Simpsons will be predicted to be right yet again. And then civil unrest, calling for Trump, calling for Trump. You can see what I've written on the screen here. Wait for the collapse in society. Issue you the RFID. We need to keep everybody safe. Too much violence, sedition amongst men. We won't be able to go from city to city. Once that happens, once the MOTB is made mandatory, you'll see spiritual intervention. The servants of the Most High will eat. As Apostle Tahar says, 2 weeks max. You've got your Hawashai and the ICBMs. So, I don't know if that's going to happen like that. It's a very detailed layout of events, but it includes all the issues that you're currently seeing today. All the things that you're seeing happening around you. You're not sure through the spirit. Are these really connected? Are they really not? We're not sure. And we're trying to piece it together. If a lot of these things are true, they could easily fall into line with this. Like I say, from this point onwards, the banking elites have got America by the balls. You see, if Donald Trump gets into power, what's everybody going to do? He spoke all these great things. He comes into power January the 1st. They'll automatically give him time. They'll say, well, he's just got in. He's promised all these changes. Then it will take at least a year, 6 months, at least a year, maybe 2, for people to wait to see the effects of these changes start to come through. Some things you see after 6 months. Some could be, after a year or 2. But, all the ones that support him, the MAGA boys, the ones that are ready to riot, they would automatically cool off. The fact that he's new, the fact that they have to give him a chance to, get himself back into position and start making effects, that would automatically create patience within them, because then they would have to wait, give him a chance to deliver. But the banking elites have done a lot of work to build the pressure, build the stakes. When the pressure rises, the stakes rise. And so at the minute where we stand as of today, you look at America, they've put work in to build it up to where it is now in terms of the pressure is high, the stakes are high, people are complaining. And so from this point onwards, you want to maintain and then increase that pressure. You want to increase the stakes. You don't want it to drop. So like I say, the country's crying out for a change. If you give that to Trump, they're automatically going to give him time to make an effect. That then brings patience. The Democratic Party have had their turn for 4 years. If Trump came into power, they probably wouldn't, be as rowdy as the Trump supporters. They've had their chance. They would then again. He's spoken great things. Wait to see if he delivers before they can get on his back to say, no, he's no good. Vote for us next time. They've got everybody dying for this president, but at any moment they can throw you the other one, Kamala, indefinitely by triggering a world war. Indefinitely economic turmoil by triggering the war. You imagine through the wartime, inflation will go up from week to week to week till we start hitting hyperinflation. Economics experts are saying that's all it's going to take. One more war, a world war, something like that. And the system's going to go upside down. Once it goes upside down, you wake up the next morning, your money doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. You go to your bank. What bank? It's going to say there's nothing. There's no system. There's nothing. They're going to, they might move your money over to a digital version, or they might review a credit score. Who knows? This is all going to be part of the turmoil, part of the questions. Everybody's going to be scratching their head. People are going to wake up just worried about their own money, let alone the troops getting sent over to Armageddon, let alone people going on about the border. And so the people worried about the border, they're going to get more pissed off, and so on and so forth. So, I don't know. I just speak through the spirit of Yahweh B'Hashem Hawashai. Maybe interpreting it right, I might maybe interpreting it wrong. but we can see what's going on around us. Track record, saying things and then seeing them come to pass, through the spirit of Yahweh and Bahashim, Yahweh Shai. Obviously, you're seeing that happen. And like I say, I was explaining it to someone earlier, and then I had to really define it and say, look, this is what we're expecting to see. Now you've got to fit that into a pattern. So you've got to put the pieces together to make the right thing. We've got the pieces. We know the pieces. The Most High, Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, gave us the main pieces, the secrets, the mysteries, the codes. We just have to work out how Esau's going to actually, initiate it on ground level. And we know who's going to do that. It's the banking elites. Everybody's looking at these presidents like they're going to, this one will do this and that will do that. Nah, banking elites, they're dangling the presidents in front of the population. And they're saying, we know you want this one, but we might give you this one. We know you want that one, but we might give you this one. Well, that one nearly died. You might have to deal with this one. Ooh, no, now he's number one front runner. Oh, but the other one's out of the party. Now we slip this lady in. And no one's really seen Biden. Where is he? So it's all it takes. Get rid of him. Activate World War III. Automatic economic collapse. Automatic civil unrest. Even more. Indefinite time. Indefinite. That's the key. Indefinite time. Well, how long is it going to go on for? Well, we'll do an election, but you got to let us finish the war first. Well, how long is that going to go? Well, we don't know. November, December, January, February, March. People scratching their heads. What's my house worth nowadays? Now that we're on a digital system. Don't know what's going on. Everything will be upside down. Pestilence, lockdown. More immigrants. More. Just keep flooding them in. Armageddon, building up. More troops getting sent down there. And then it's just going to go off. And then at some point, when it really gets bad, these people are going to take to the streets. The banking elites just sit back, arms behind their back, just chilling, waiting for the order, the order out of the chaos. But they're not going to get it because obviously, once it gets to that point and it gets peak, that's when the ICBMs, Yahweh Shai and the ICBMs. So, it's whatever's in my mind. So I just thought I'd share it with you. You say it don't come to pass, yeah, okay, it might not come to pass like that. It might come to pass in a different way. But from here on in, it is set up to go in that direction. Only 2 moves need to get made. Activate that war, which belongs to the bankers. All wars belong to them. And get rid of Mr. B. So I'm going to leave it right there. Hope it's edifying. Until next time, all praises to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakah, Quadash. Until next time, Shalom.